Let's move on to the next chapter. Wichtige Unterrichtsverfahren. Kommunikation. The following are the subtopics under Kommunikation. First we have Grundbegriffe und Modelle. Pragmatische Axiome der Kommunikation. Die 4 Seiten einer Nachricht. And finally, Kommunikation im Deutschunterricht. Let's take a look at them one by one. First up, Grundbegriffe und Modelle. So the definition of communication is being given. Communication means exchange of information with the help of sprachliche, also language, and außersprachliche interaction, non-lingual interaction, basically body language, gestic, mimic, etc. Communication takes place not only through the language but also through symbols and gestures. And Zeichen, symbols, can be pictures, Zeigegeste, also gestures, mimic, Schriftform der Sprache, like books, etc. The interpretation of these symbols plays a very important role. The form of expression, the medium, and the reaction of the receiver is the most important factor in communication. The effect which a particular message has on a person depends upon how it is being interpreted by the person. There are situations where, despite the language being the same between the sender and the receiver, the other lingual, non-lingual aspects, for example, the role and builder and the expectation, they also play a very important role in communication. So this happens even in a native speaker as well. The book goes on to describe some of the models. The first one is the Organon model. We have on the right the picture, we have a sender, we have Empfänger, and then in between them we have Gegenstand und Sachverhalt. We will take a look at all these aspects one by one. First up, we will look at Gegenstand und Sachverhalt. Außersprachliche Wirklichkeit or Darstellfunktion. So this Gegenstand or a Sachverhalt mainly gives a representing functionality. It is used for representing the communication. What are all that is being taken as communication aspect is being represented via this Gegenstand and Sachverhalt, and it will be interpreted by the sensory organs of the Empfänger. Die werden gefiltert, interpretiert und eingeordnet. So when someone is speaking, they will show something and the receiver tends to filter and then interpret and then organize the same to understand the full message. What the receiver actually takes into account is only a pictorial representation of the real communication or the reality. When someone makes any conclusion about the reality or is trying to give a feedback as to what is being or what was communicated to him, what he or she does is he basically picks up parts of the picture which he has built while receiving the information from the sender. So he doesn't absorb words or anything. He basically understands what was communicated and puts them in a big picture. And whenever you're asking information from him or her, they will try to go back to that picture and try to give the information. Next we have sender. The sender gives the Ausdruckfunktion, or he gives out the information. Der verhält sich wahrnehmbar auf sprachlicher und außersprachlicher Weise. So to communicate effectively, he gives all his expressions via language elements and non-lingual methods. He sends out verbal and non-verbal symbols. Der drückt was aus, das sich in einer Botschaft manifestiert. He says something which will be manifesting itself as a message. You should make a note that whatever one wants to communicate is not what is being sent by the sender as well. So sometimes the sender's intention could be something else, but the way he is communicating that could be interpreted differently. So always remember that what one wants to send is not interpreted at once, and it's also not communicated correctly sometimes. Then we have the Empfänger or the receiver. He has an Appellfunktion, meaning once he has received the message, he has to actually take some action. He receives the symbols and interprets them, and these symbols basically challenge him to do something. He has to basically do something. The important factors which play a role in communication are basically the tone, the situation, the mimic, facial expression, the gestures, hand gestures, the cultural background when there are two people talking to each other from different countries. Then you have Unterrichtskultur und Methode, the way they were taught and the methods which they were taught. And then you have the relationship between the speaker and the Zuhörer, listener. So all these constitute the Organon model of communication.
With that, the chapter comes to an end. Please feel free to like, subscribe and comment to the channel. If you have any questions, then contact me via email or put down your comments and I'll be able to reply. Thank you.